When I was about 9, my family started going to the Happy Valley Dude Ranch every summer for a week-long vacation. Happy Valley was on the Medina River in the Texas Hill Country. It was nothing fancy. Quonset huts for sleeping in, a single asphalt tennis court with a chain-link fence as the net, a corral for the horses, a special treat that I got to ride once a time every summer. We spent hours playing spades and hearts on dusty picnic tables under drooping oak trees. And once a week, we drove into town, Bandera, and went line dancing with the country boot-wearing locals. Think Cotton Eye Joe, Patsy Cline, and lots of polkas. For me, the best part of Happy Valley was the swimming hole. It was a near-perfect shallow pool ringed by multiple mini waterfalls. Safe for children, fun for teenagers, and then we used the swimming hole to launch long, lazy inner tube floats down the river. A good number of my core childhood memories feature Happy Valley. The summer I was 14, Bandera got 30 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. The gentle bends and turns of the Medina River turned into a wall of water. Someone we knew from our annual vacation week had to be rescued from the upper branches of the cypress trees lining the river. All those Quonset huts at Happy Valley swept away. When the water finally receded, the river itself had changed course. My favorite swimming hole was gone. The very next summer, we went back. I don't remember any discussion about the flood or any possible danger, maybe because it was seen as a once-in-a-lifetime event. We found other places to swim. We kept playing cards under the oak trees. We charted a new route down the river in our inner tubes. My mom sat around a campfire and drank jug wine with the woman who had been rescued from the trees. Happy Valley was different, but still beloved. I've been thinking a lot about my time in Bandera since the July 4th flash floods in the Texas Hill Country. I stopped going to Happy Valley once I went to college and my parents got divorced, but my mom and younger sister kept going back to the ranch. My mom loved the area so much that she moved for several years to Kerrville, which is about 30 miles north of Bandera. Her ashes are scattered along the river there. I haven't vacationed in the Texas Hill Country in decades, but I still feel a deep connection to the place. The recent destruction there along the Guadalupe River hit me hard. Pummeled by rain, the river rose 26 feet in 45 minutes. So many people died, in part because of when the rain fell, in part because rainstorms have become supercharged, in part because local government officials and the Trump administration decided that flood warnings and regional emergency response personnel were too expensive. A beloved place harmed by callous indifference. The mixture of grief and rage I felt both scared me and left me a little numb. And that anger and anxiety has permeated my thoughts in the past 3 weeks. On my vacation in Minnesota, I walked in a gorgeous neighborhood along the Mississippi River, and I wondered, what will it take for these stately homes to be flooded? Visiting a friend in the Sierra foothills, I initiated a conversation about fire hardening techniques and the flammability of manzanita trees while sitting by her swimming pool. Precious places feel ever more at risk. Perhaps you've had the same feelings, similar worries. So many of our treasured places have been changed, reshaped, become better known for their destruction than for their beauty. The Santa Cruz Mountains, where a wildfire roared down narrow canyons. Asheville, North Carolina, far from any coast, but still devastated by the impact of a hurricane. The Altadena neighborhood in Los Angeles, yearly flash floods in rural Vermont. The utter destruction of Paradise, California. The list is too long. This is the place where we are. Despair tugs at us all. Grief weighs us down. As Katie sang, I see sorrow and trouble in this land. Being alive in these days means trying to hold on to joy even as the world is breaking your heart. And yet I still love the places I love. They bring me joy. Even as I walked along the Mississippi and worried about flooding, I paused at the flowers. I admired the bright cardinals flitting among the trees, noticed the brilliant blue skies, marveled at the fireflies. Fire is ever present in the Sierra foothills, but the Yuba River remains cold and clear and beautiful. This bifurcated feeling is normal now. Our cherished places could slip away at any moment or have already been transformed into something different. Yet, they are still beloved, still worth trying to save. Grief does not mean giving up, because if not now, tell me when. No one made that clearer than Joanna Macy. Joanna Macy died last Saturday in Berkeley at the age of 96. Macy was a Buddhist who found her home in the UU Oakland Church. She lived her life with gusto and a fierce determination to help the people she met. A spiritual and intellectual giant, Macy started talking about, preaching about really, climate change in the 1970s. She wrote or co-wrote 18 books, many about the need for people to reconnect and recommit to transforming the earth, to become a part of what she called the Great Turning. Macy insisted that we must love an imperfect world, that we keep seeing beauty and wonder and magic, even when our souls overflow with grief and despair. More importantly, she asked that we open ourselves to that pain. Way back in 1991, over 30 years ago, Macy acknowledged that between the beauty of this world and the knowledge of what we are doing to it comes a luminous and almost unbearable grief. Then Macy proposed a way past that heartache and gloom, the gloom that affects us when we ponder our warming planet. As Dawn read, she acknowledged that maintaining hope is hard work, sometimes too hard. Macy did not really believe in optimism. Instead, she asked that we practice being present being aware. Because for Macy, hope is a practice, not a feeling. A practice, not a feeling. Keep showing up, she said, no matter how you feel. Just show up, especially if your heart is breaking. In her last years, Macy spoke about her own dance with despair, reminding us that to see how we are called not to run from the discomfort, not to run from the grief or the feelings of outrage or even fear, and that if we can be fearless with our pain, it turns. It doesn't stay static. It only doesn't change if we refuse to look at it. But when we look at our fear, when we take it in our hands, when we just be with it and keep breathing, then it turns. It turns to reveal its other face. And the other face of pain for the world is our love for the world. Our pain for the world is our love for the world. Grieving is a sign of spiritual health. It shows how much we care, how attached we are to this world. I needed that message. Maybe you do too. Because this is the place where we are, where grief and joy are woven fine. We find beauty in the earth. We mourn the earth. Environmental change has long been what University of Wisconsin professor Rob Nixon called slow violence. A violence that occurs gradually and out of sight. A violence of delayed destruction dispersed across time and space. An attritional violence typically not viewed as violence at all. But now that violence is moving faster. The water is rising. We're scrambling to reach higher ground. This is the place where we are. I started with my memories of the hill country because I think the earth is too big to take in as a whole. Our joys and sorrows tend to be specific, local, particular. We know that there are blue skies and sunlight on clover all over the world. But I think that lovely hymn urges us to remember that precisely because we tend to forget. We privilege our own. And of course, we should remember how much other places mean to other people. Yet each of us finds joy in our own landscape, our own weather patterns, our own imaginary of how the world should be. Just as with the people we love, places bind our hearts with time, tether us to memories. Of course our own sky seems bluer, our own clover more sweet. And that's okay. Because when we love a particular place, commit to a particular place, we're more likely to want to protect it. Do you have a particular place that you adore, that calls to your soul, that feels like home? Maybe it's the cornfields of Nebraska, the dry heat of Albuquerque, the urban bustle of New York City. Maybe it's the view from Inspiration Point in Tilden Park. What is your particular place? I'm going to stop here for a sec. I want you to take a moment and find that particular place. Feel it in your body and think about how it makes you feel. I don't know where y'all went. You all went to your own particular place, and for some of you, maybe it was your childhood hometown. Our early memories of place have a way of sneaking into our hearts. Not me, though. I grew up on the edge of Houston, where it is hot and wickedly humid. It's below sea level. There are scrubby pines, freeways and strip malls and oil refineries. Wide streets, lots of cars. It's very unusual to walk anywhere in Houston. In fact, there's a reasonable chance that if you were ever walking along the street in Houston, somebody will stop and ask if you need a ride, assuming that your car has broken down and you need to get somewhere to fix it. When I visited Houston recently, I mentioned something about the beauty of the Bay Area because we live in a beautiful place. I mentioned this to my sister, who said, "Really? More beautiful than here?" I stared at her. My sister was not being sarcastic. She can't imagine a better place to live than Houston. And to me, nothing speaks to the power of place more than my sister's deep affection for Houston. Hot, humid, concrete-covered Houston. But Julie feels tethered to that place. She loves those scrubby pines and those wide open spaces. Her special place was ecologically tattered and environmentally broken long before she was born. And she loves it anyway. That's what our special places do. They create a sense of identity and well-being tied to particular buildings or views or landscapes, to quirks and cultural norms, smells, and native trees. Our special places root us to the earth, bind our hearts to the people who surround us, make us care. And we need to hold on to that feeling because climate grief can easily uproot us, disconnect us. We need to love our particular places with fierceness and vigor. Our pain for the world is our love for the world. And yeah, that pain hurts. Yet if we turn towards the pain, if we own it, if we even welcome it, we can find space to take more risks. In her workshops and retreats, Macy emphasized that if the world is to be healed through human efforts, I am convinced it will be by ordinary people whose love for this life is even greater than their fear. Folks, I am afraid, often overwhelmed. But still, my love for this world and its future feels bigger. And so I promise to practice love, practice hope, especially when I feel most fearful, when I feel like all of my optimism is gone. Could all of us do the same? Listen again to Macy, who reminds us it is not enough to weep for our lost landscapes. We have to put our hands in the earth to make ourselves whole again. Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. Even a broken world is beautiful. The glorious, fragile places that we love anchor and sustain us, even when the rivers change course, when the trees are scorched, even when federal policy seems to be hurtling us towards ever more disaster. This is the place that we are. This is the place that we are. Can we be fearless with our pain? Can we let it break us open? Because when our hearts break, the whole universe can pour through. May it be so. Amen.